On May 17, 1986, at the age of 22, a left-handed up-and-coming prospect named Fred McGriff made his major league debut for the Toronto Blue Jays. Over the next 19 seasons, the Crime Dog, as he was affectionately known, would go on to put up some of the most impressive and clean numbers in the game. Yet, on January 22, 2019, Fred McGriff came up short on the Hall of Fame ballot for the 10th and final time, an inexcusable error by the writers who vote. To maybe better understand why the voters overlooked McGriff, we need look no further than the era he played. He was a slugger in the late 80s to early 2000s, in the same period as Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds. He was a dangerous 30-homer-a-year slugger for 15 seasons. Unlike other steroid users of the time, he never went from 30 to 40 or 50 or 60 home runs. By the time Fred McGriff walked off the field for the last time on July 15, 2004, he had totaled 2,490 hits, 493 of which were home runs, 441 doubles, and drove in 1,550 runs. 10 times he hit 30 or more home runs, 8 times driving in more than 100 RBI. He was a 5-time All-Star and 6 times was in the top 10 in MVP voting. On top of his regular season numbers, there are his postseason numbers. He played in 50 postseason games, including 2 World Series, helping the 1995 Braves win their championship. Over his 12 World Series games, he slugged over 600, and over all 50 postseason games, he collected 57 hits, 10 home runs, 11 doubles, 37 RBI, and slashed .303, .385, .532. For his career, only 27 players have hit more home runs, and only 47 players have more RBI. Of course, what do these numbers mean if there's nothing to compare them to? So let's take a look at 3 other Hall of Famers: Willie Stargell, Jeff Bagwell, and Willie McCovey. First, Stargell. In 21 seasons, 2 more than McGriff, he compiled 475 home runs, less. 1,540 RBIs, less. 7 All-Star games, 2 more. And had been in the top 10 in MVP voting 7 times, just 1 more. Yes, with 1 win, let's not take that away from him, but McGriff's 1993 campaign was that of an MVP, finishing with more than 100 runs, 100 RBI, and 37 home runs. That season he was traded to Atlanta from San Diego and set the Braves on fire as he hit .301, .392, and .612 the second half of the season and helped drive them to the playoffs. That year he finished 4th in the MVP voting, behind Barry Bonds. Back to Stargell. His lifetime splits, average on-base slugging, is .282, .360, and .529, less than McGriff in average and on-base percentage. Next, Bagwell. The case here is that Bagwell did the same, and in some cases more, than McGriff in just 15 seasons to McGriff's 19. However, in the playoffs, Bagwell struggled mightily, only slashing .226, .364, and .321 over 33 games, never winning a World Series. Third, and finally, Willie McCovey. The difference here is that Willie made it over 500 home runs, the silver lining for sluggers in the Hall of Fame. McCovey was a 6-time All-Star over 22 seasons and only played in 8 postseason games. The argument here isn't that McGriff is better than those 3, but that he's on even ground. He should have been elected. He should have been elected several years ago. I argue that he is the most prolific slugger that has suffered from the steroid era, a clean hitter in a tainted era, whose numbers just don't seem as impressive with what was going on around him. There is hope, though. There is a chance that the Modern Era Committee will select McGriff to the Hall of Fame in the future. It would get the Crime Dog in the Hall, but not by the vote, and certainly not soon enough.